Welcome back to HBO Weekly. I am your host, Tessa Walker, and I am here to give you the news about what's going on in the community and in the school. Now it's time for the community event. There is a lot going on this week, especially on Tuesday, because there is a lot of competitions going on Tuesday, like the haunted house decorating contest, where you'll be decorating your house to look the spookiest. There will be judges going around, I think around 3 p.m. And there's also the Halloween cake decorating contest going on at 3 p.m. And also there's more. There is the homemade cardboard house, haunted house decorating contest also going on at 3 p.m. Now it's time for this week's cafeteria menu with Mr. Moore.
Hello HBO. It's time for the weekly cafeteria news again. Hey, I just want you to remember, folks, come on down to the cafeteria anytime, because remember, we have a soup of the day fresh every single day. We make it fresh every single day. We have some great sandwiches that we do daily. We've got some incredibly good salads, and it's a nice place to come on down. You can't beat the prices, and you can't beat the friends that you have lunch with, okay? So come on down to the cafeteria and spend. Just kidding. Next Wednesday, the 30th of October, a couple of nights before Halloween, maybe even one night before Halloween, we have a special on Wednesday. It's going to be roast leg of ham with scalloped potatoes and fresh green beans, beautiful fresh green beans, at a bargain basement price of $6. You can't beat it. Best price in town. Come on down, bring your friends, tell your family, have a great time. Next week at HBO, Wednesday, we're looking forward to seeing you.
All right, it's time for the first interview of the week. Welcome Jesse, who is going to be interviewing Mr. Duncan.
Hello everybody, my name is Jesse Abtagan here at HBO Weekly, and I am here joined with
Lonnie Duncan.
middle years teacher and high school basketball coach. Mind telling us a bit about yourself?
Well, I was born and raised in Norhouse. I've been living here all my life. I went to school in Brandon University for 5 years, and I went to Thompson to get my education, and now I've been here ever since 2010 as a teacher.
Oh, interesting. Why did you become a teacher, and why middle years specifically?
The reason I became a teacher is because most of my family is involved with kids. My aunties are teachers. My siblings are dealing with adults and youth in the community. I just love working with kids, playing with the kids while they're growing up. I was an EA here for numerous years, and then I loved being around them, so I decided to become a teacher.
Oh, nice. How is it like being a teacher and a coach?
Being a teacher is a lot of fun. I enjoy teaching and learning off the students, especially on a basketball court. I love telling all the boys what they need to do, what they work on, and going on trips is the best part of it. Just gaining that experience and building that relationship with students are the best.
Oh. And how long have you been working here for?
I've been here for 10 years so far as a teacher. As an EA, I was here for more than 5 years.
Did you have any previous work experience anywhere else?
I worked as a frontier maintenance one summer, my first job. I worked as an intervener with the community Norhouse. But mostly my first real job was EA at Rossville School. And after that, I just loved being around kids.
Oh, well then, that concludes our interview. Thank you very much for joining us. Anything else you would like to add before we head off?
No, I just remember that I had Jesse as a student is one of my favorite students. So it's good to see you doing this and continue on with your education.
Wow, thank you very much.
Now it's time for the birthday of the week. I hope you all have a wonderful week.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. It's your birthday, hooray. Happy birthday. It's your birthday, hooray. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Now it's time for the second interview of the week with Ricky Sanderson, who is interviewing a guest speaker on financial literacy.
Hello everybody, my name is Ricky Sanderson and I am going to be your reporter today for HBO Weekly. I am here with,
Millie Acuna.
and she was here today on October 10th, 2024 for her presentation on financial literacy. I just wanted to get into a quick introduction of who Millie is and why she was here today. So if you can go into what's your name, where are you from, and how old are you?
You want my age? My name is Millie Acuna. I'm a manager of the asset building programs at SEED Winnipeg. SEED stands for Supporting Employment and Economic Development. We're a nonprofit organization in Winnipeg, right in the heart of the North End, providing financial empowerment programs. And I am proud to be 44 years old.
What brought you to Norway House today for today's presentation?
So for the last 3 years, I have been in contact with Selena Moore, one of the resource teachers here. And what I had initially had offered to do money management, I have received funding from the government, from the federal government and from IG Wealth, where I can take our financial empowerment programs from SEED and work on First Nation communities. And so Selena was one of my first contacts here at Norway House, and I've been so happy and blessed to be able to come here to provide those workshops and access to Manitoba birth certificates.
And I just wanted to say, as a student who goes to HBO, I love it when people come in for a workshop, especially for stuff that us as students could struggle with, and we probably aren't going into depth when we're at school. So I really appreciate when schools when they come in and they kind of do little workshops like this. For those who couldn't make it to the presentation today, how would you summarize what you discussed with the rest of the students?
Yeah, for sure. So I had presented, there were two presentations. One was with grade 10. Grade 10 was talking about money choices, so understanding the different influences of money. When you're preparing to manage your money, when you become independent or when we call adulting, it is really important to understand the influences like values, feelings, peer pressure, time of life, even risk and consequence. So thinking about all those values or influences can really make you a better money manager. The more aware of what impacts your decisions, the better you can empower yourselves to make better choices with money. So that was grade 10. With the older levels, grade 11 and 12, I did a focus on credit. Ultimately, it's one of those really critical moments where youth graduate and they are targeted by some of the financial service providers, and hey, you're youth, you're young, you're new to this, let's give you a credit card. So it was really important, or it is important, that youth understand how to manage and understand credit altogether. So I walked through the different types of credit in regards to installment credit, revolving credit, secured credit, and unsecured. the different methods of borrowing money. So you're looking at loans, credit cards, line of credits, overdraft, but also some of those high risk types of credit like payday lending, pawn shops, those risky loans with rent to own and leasing items. So I did a high level introduction to understanding the different types of credit, but also gave tips on how to be a stronger applicant when it comes to credit applications. So it's the 5 C's of credit. We talked about capacity, which is the affordability piece. How can you afford credit? I talked about character, which is the impression of stability. Do you have a job? Where do you live? I also talked about capital, forgive me. So capital is basically what do you have earned or saved for yourself, and that's your net worth, right? Do you have more assets versus liabilities? That would make you a stronger applicant. Then it is, let's see here, collateral. So collateral would be security. I often think about Arnold Schwarzenegger. You might be too young to remember this, but it was a movie called Collateral Damage. Anyway, so collateral is about security. So when you're applying for something, often what financial service providers will look at, if you're new to lending, what type of security do you have? And the number one collateral that I want to warn youth is co-signing. Because if you're new to credit, sometimes people ask, mom, dad, family, friend to co-sign. But it's risky. If you co-sign with someone, you really have to trust them because both of you are fully responsible for that credit product. And lastly, credit history. So I did a lesson on credit bureaus, credit scores, credit history, and how to build your credit score when you're out there, because essentially that is a tool you need when you're financially independent.
Thank you, Millie. And I actually attended the grade 11 to 12 presentation, and I found it very informative because I didn't know half of the stuff that she was talking about. And it just kind of shows the purpose of why Millie comes to Norway House and to HBO, to kind of educate those who aren't really sure about credit scores. What specific challenges do Indigenous youth encounter when it comes to building credit and maintaining the credit?
I would say not to label Indigenous youth, but I would say youth in general. So youth in general ultimately is the lack of awareness and knowledge of managing credit, how to access it, how to manage it, the importance of repayments, understanding the grace period for credit cards, affordability. So essentially, financial service providers will give a youth a $1,000 credit card when the education is lost or missed. So that's the number one risk for youth, is obtaining credit and not understanding how to manage it.
Thank you. And how do you approach educating youth about credit scores given the unique culture and economic factors that they face?
I encourage talking about it. I grew up in a society where money was stigma, and I think it still is, and I'm one of those walking examples of trying to make money a normal thing to talk about, because that's what everyone has in common. We're all trying to be financially sustainable, so why not talk about it? And so I encourage people to talk about it in their friend circles, at school, and I'm working with the education system through SEED, is encouraging applying these workshops within the school curriculum so that we can normalize these conversations.
Thank you. And on to the last question. What advice do you wish to share to HBO students who are struggling to understand credit and confused on when to start?
First advice is ask for help. I have been in the finance industry. Prior to working at SEED, I worked 15 years in the credit union system. Then I'm almost at 10 years at SEED Winnipeg doing financial empowerment work, and I'm still learning today, right? So you can always learn, you can always get advice, but for any youth at HBO, I would say speak up, ask these questions, talk about it amongst your peers, and get those second opinions. And SEED Winnipeg is always available for that. So you can always reach us through email, our website, and just call me and say, Millie, I'm going through the situation. What can happen? What can I do? What resources are out there? So making that accessible information is really important.
And you've answered all my questions. Thank you, Millie, for coming in today and interviewing us on HBO Weekly. That is it for today's episode, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Now it's time for the keywords of the week with Mrs. Rideout and Mr. Albert.
Siya wasisat anuts kikagis kinomatnan tansi kay siten
Alagatsas.
eba magesil is a fox
Mikiso is an eagle.
eba kuguminagesis is a spider
Wapus is a rabbit.
musa is a moose
Muskwa is a bear.
niska is a goose niska
Pinesis is a bird.
ega sisip is a duck ao ego se
There goes that.
On to the photo of the week, which was submitted by Benjamin, who is a grade 10 student. All right, folks, it's time for the third interview of the week with Shay Ross, who is interviewing Miss Paul.
Hello, I am Shailene Ross, and I'm here on HBO Weekly, and I'm with,
Miss Paul,
and I have some questions for you.
I'd be happy to answer any questions you got.
How long have you been working here?
Well, this is the start of my 26th year here in HBO. Well, in Norway House, not at HBO, but at Norway House, yeah.
When did you decide to become a teacher here at HBO?
I got the job here. That's what made me decide to get a job. But to become a teacher, when I started university, I wanted to do something with music, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was thinking of maybe becoming an opera singer at one time and was training for that. And then I realized that that's not necessarily a solid career path, that I can get a paycheck every week. And so I decided to take my music and put it into something more practical, and that's where education came into play, that I realized I wanted to give kids a music education like I had, and so that's what inspired me. And then I just applied for jobs, and I applied for a job at Norway House, and they hired me, they liked me, and so I've been here ever since.
How are you enjoying your job here so far?
I love it here. Well, I've been here for 26 years, so obviously I do like it here. I like the community. I like the services in the community. I like the location that we live in the bush here with water all around us and everything. I love seeing the northern lights at night, and I love the church that I attend here. That's a very important part of my life. And all around Norway House has everything that I need.
How would you describe your style of teaching?
Ooh, I'm like the music teacher from the Black Lagoon. If you read that book. No, I find myself, I'm a very strict teacher because I want my kids to really get the most out of their education, but the kids also know that I care about them a lot. Like when you see me in community or in the mall and even in the hallways at the school here, the kids are always coming up to hug me and stuff because they know I really care about them. But I also am very strict with making sure they follow the rules and that they listen carefully and that they really develop their skills in music. Yeah.
What are the rules here in your classroom?
Well, the rules I have posted here, I don't know if it's in the frame of the video, but four simple rules that we sort of worked together as a class years ago is good listening, good manners, manners, good singing, and good playing, including either whether playing instruments or playing games. And we've discussed with the kids what those all mean, what they look like in class. And so when they come in the first day of class, now that they've been with me for so long, they know right away what's expected of them, and they also are willing to follow the rules because they know it gives them a lot of fun then.
How do you keep your students actively involved in your lessons?
Well, I do a lot of direct teaching, and because we sing a lot and we play, have a lot of activity learning games and stuff like that, so it kind of naturally lends itself to their participation. But then also I remind them to encourage them to sing. You know, I'll do little reminders like that through the class. Plus the fact that our classroom rules, the good singing, the good playing, with the classroom rules, the kids can earn party points, and when they earn enough party points, they get a party in class. So those are some motivating factors that I'll just say, like, you know, are you listening well? And can I give you party points for that if they're not listening? And then then they remember that they've got to listen and they've got to participate and stuff. So following the rules and then the reward of the parties, they like that.
What would be your favorite thing about your job?
Ooh, I think the favorite thing is just seeing the kids every day. You know, it's like anybody, Monday morning you don't want to wake up and go to work, but once I get to work and I see the kids and they're all happy to see me and I'm happy to see them, that's really what feeds my soul in terms of my job. When I'm walking in the community and I hear some kid going, "Hello, Miss Paul," you know, that really brings joy to my heart, that they like that and they sing to me and they love saying hi to me. They love seeing me in the community and stuff like that. And so that, just being with the kids.
Thank you for your time, Miss Paul.
My pleasure entirely.
All right, what's happening in Cosmo with Miss Foley and her students?
Hello, my name is Angelina Cameron, and we're here to interview
Kathy Lecandro.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself and where you're from?
My name is Kathy Foley. Some people know me by Lecandro. I was from Winnipeg. I was in Norway House 20 years ago, and I'm back now teaching the hairstyling program.
What do you teach in cosmetology?
In the hairstyling cosmetology program, I teach 12 different classes, anywhere from professional image to infection control to hygiene to mental health, hair cutting, hair coloring, hair perming. Yeah, there's 12 different courses that you have to learn to get accredited in this program.
How long have you been teaching this course?
I've been teaching the hairstyling program for about 19 years. I took a break and I went into teaching like career and job opportunities and work skills. So that was fun, just taking something different.
Do you have any after-school clubs?
Yes, actually, I have several. I'm part of the Sources of Strength, which is a suicide prevention and mental health group that we're working with some students. So we'll be doing a workshop in the evening next week where we're going to cook dinner and we're just going to plan about how we want the Sources of Strength to look like in our school community. And then I also will be training for the Skills Manitoba competition with students, so I'll have students competing in the hairstyling area, in the beginner hairstyle, and then in the secondary hairstyling. I also have students competing in workplace health and safety, the job skill demo, a job interview, and workplace health and safety. I don't know if I said that. So I've started training with the students there. So we'll be doing that. We'll be traveling to the PAW in February and then to Winnipeg in April. And I'm also doing a young women's group, which will be starting probably in the new year, where young women will gather. We'll have the elders come in, and they'll learn about skirt teachings and ribbon teachings and wonderful things about being a woman.
To finish off, what are you doing this week of Cosmo?
This week in Cosmo, everybody's at a different level in this classroom because if I only took one group of students, I wouldn't have very many students, so I like to take different groups, so we're all over the place. Some are doing blow dries, some are braiding, some are doing hair sets, some are doing put-ups, so everybody's working at their individual level.
Now it's time for Weather of the Week with William.
Hello everyone, my name is William Hart and I'll be doing the weather for this week. On Monday, it'll be cloudy with the temperature of 8 degrees. On Tuesday morning, it'll have snow showers with the temperature of 2 degrees. On Wednesday, will be partly cloudy with the temperature of 2 degrees. On Thursday afternoon, we'll have snow showers with the temperature of 2 degrees. Lastly, Friday will be mostly cloudy with the temperature of 3 degrees.
Happy Halloween. It may not be Halloween yet, but it's not too early to talk about Halloween safety. When trick-or-treating late at night in the dark, it's hard to see people, especially if they're in like a darker costume. Drivers will have a harder time seeing you. One of our recommendations is light reflecting tape, bags, or just something that'll be easier to spot. Be cautious in the dark. Beware of like dogs, animals, oncoming traffic, and other dangers. Kids should always be accompanied by an adult. It could be a parent, guardian, older sibling, cousin, or any older than 13 years of age. Check your candy. Even if it's rare, it's still possible for something to be inside your candy. If there are holes, discoloration, or overall something wrong with the candy, then it's likely not okay to eat. Make sure to dress warm. Make sure to dress warm, especially for the Canadian weather around this time of year. Oh, and always remember basic road safety. Look both ways before crossing a road. Don't walk in the middle of the road. And always walk on the right-hand side of the road so you can see oncoming traffic. We hope you have a fun and safe Halloween.